Hello again everyone. Thanks very much for clicking on one of my videos. I really do appreciate it. Now this video is going to be my review of the Hikmicro or Hikmicro, however you want to pronounce it, thermal spotter. This is the Lynx Pro LE10 model. Now in this line they do a few more. There's a 6mm one. This is the LE10 because it's got the 10mm lens. They do an LE6, an LE06 they call it. They do a 15mm, a 19mm and a 25mm I think. Now the larger ones, maybe the 19 and 25, have an adjustable focus on the front. This is a fixed focus one. But everything I'm going to be telling you today is about my experience of using this over the last few or several weeks that I've had this. Now, full disclosure if you like, in the honourable YouTube fashion, etc. I was sent this device by the great people at Optics Warehouse. They sent me this to do a pest control video, which I've done. Check my other videos and you can have a look at that one. There's some really good footage and so on from this there, of actual pest control and so on using it. But I'm going to go through the various bits and pieces of what I liked and what I disliked. To be honest, there's very little if nothing I didn't like about this, but let's be honest, it's a Hikmicro device and they're pretty good with all their thermal sort of stuff. I don't think they make anything that's not top notch, to be honest really. Now this is currently being sold for sub £600 at the time of me making this video in the UK at Optics Warehouse. There are other stores available, and just to let you know, obviously Optics Warehouse did send me this, but all my views and all my opinions and everything will be my own 100% personal opinion of what I thought of this while I was using it. But like I say, it's a Hikmicro device. It's going to be good, isn't it, you know? So I'm going to break it down into several areas and sort of go through all the bits and pieces that you will want to know about using this out in the field. Now, if you want to know all the ins and outs and specs of this, I can tell you it's a 35 MK 12 UN 256 by 192. If you want to know all the stats, figures, facts, everything about it, go onto the Optics Warehouse website. Everything you want to know about it is on there and so on. And if not, give them a call. They can speak you through it, etc, etc. So let's get down to it, and first, very quickly, just show you what comes in the box. Okay guys, so very quickly, what comes in the box. Obviously you've got the unit itself. It comes in this very nice packaged box. A pretty comprehensive manual. A very nice thank you card. The typical cleaning cloth. A really nice kind of neoprene case, which is excellent to pop your device, your spotter into when you've got it in your bag and so on. And USB cable. So that's basically everything you'll get with it when you purchase it in the box. So first of all, let's speak about the I'm going to call it the build of it and its materials and so on. So I think it's made exceptionally well, very well. It's made of some sort of polymer, and it's a very nice to touch type sort of polymer, almost got a rubbery finish sort of to it and so on, definitely around the face. The cup is nice and soft and so on there, and all the buttons and everything, the fit and finish of the whole device is really good, really good. I see no reason why it won't last a very long time, made of the materials and the quality build that it is. So really happy about how it looks and feels and so on. Really, really good, that. Okay, the next thing I want to talk about is the design of it, if you like. Now, this is the thing that's impressed me the most about this little spotter. So it's got a straightforward, effective rubber lens cap, which is fine. It's got a really nice, round, soft rubber eye cup on it. The buttons are all nicely spaced out, just 4 buttons to do everything you need to sort of do. I'll run through all the features of what everything does in a bit and so on, but the best thing about, probably the best whole thing about this device, and probably the whole model range, since they're basically all modelled on the same sort of shell, I guess, is the feel and how this fits in your hand like this and how you use it. I don't know how else I can express, you know, what a delight almost it is to have used it. It's ergonomics, that's the word I'm looking for. The ergonomics of this device, this spotter, are almost perfect, if anything can be perfect. It fits in your hand really, really well. It's quite small and it can fit in your pocket, no problem at all, as you're walking around. Now it comes also with this hand sort of lanyard. I used it, I've taken it off, with one that goes around your neck, and it's perfect. When it hangs around your neck, I should have kept it on, hangs around your neck like that, you can grab it with either hand straight away. Your fingers are straight on the buttons that you need to use, and you can put it straight up to your eye and use it, and that lovely soft eyepiece just fits perfect. And when it's hanging there, doesn't matter what hand you've got something in, right hand, left hand, you can just pick it up and use it straight away. Either hand, either eye, it just works. I can't express how the ergonomics, that's a really good word for what it is, of this, how good the ergonomics are for this little spotter for actually using in the field. When you've got it hanging around your neck, dangling down, you've got your rifle on your shoulder, other bits and pieces, whatever hand you've got free, you can just grab it and it's instantly available. Your fingers just fall right on the buttons, you can just grab it by the end to do that, and like I said, whichever hand you grab it on, you can just put it straight to your eye and it just works. So full marks for the design and the ergonomics of the device. Okay, so next thing really to go through, I think, maybe the features of the device. Let's just run through quickly what everything does. I'll try and show you on the camera here. If it doesn't pick it up well, perhaps I'll insert something into the video that you can see better. But obviously, yeah, it comes with a nice little flip-up cover for the lens, which it just works. It's adequate. It's fine. It's got a 10mm lens on it. 4 buttons I'll go through in a minute along the top. This little rotary knob on the side there, that is to focus your eye onto the little screen that's in there. So you just rotate that until everything comes crystal clear on the screen in there. On the screen in there, when it's on and you're looking through it, is all the information that you need. Reference the battery, the date and time or whatever is in there. There's an SD card picture that shows you how much sort of video you're taking and so on. When you've got the video recording, there's a video camera in the top screen with the time displayed that it's sort of running through. So everything you need to know when using the device is shown in there, as well as the picture itself looking through. There's a standard small camera mount underneath it, so you can fix it to a tripod or fit it permanently onto something, and then there's a little flap at the bottom there for a USB-C cable, which is supplied in the box for charging or downloading from the unit. I think that more or less covers all the bits and pieces there. But to use the device then, the very first button up by the lens is the on-off switch, if you like, power button. So one long hold of that button will switch the device on, and it does take a good 5, 6, 7 seconds or so, I guess, to actually switch on and become operational, if you like. But once it's switched on, then all you need to do is one quick press or one click of the power button to put it into standby mode, and then again one quick click of the power button to switch it back on, and it's instant. As soon as you click the switch from standby mode, it's back on instantly, and you can see through the device, see what you're looking at. To switch it off, again, it's just one long press of that button, and a little timer will come on the screen in there and count down from 3 seconds and switch off. And that's pretty much a theme throughout all these buttons. It's a quick press and a long press, how everything more or less sort of works. The next button down is the camera button. Again, when the unit's on, one quick press of the camera button will take a picture and it will automatically be saved to its memory. A long press will start the recorder going, so the video recorder, and like I say, you'll see on the image in the screen the little recorder come up in the top of the screen, and a timer will start cycling through so you can see how long your video is running for. And then to stop your recording, again one long press will stop it, and it will automatically download onto the internal memory. Next button is the memory mode button, sorry. When the device is on and you're looking through it, a quick press of this button will cycle through its colour palettes, so white hot, black hot, fusion and red hot. So each press of that will continually cycle through those different mode settings, and again a long press of it will set you into the menu. And there's too many things on the menu to mention, more things than you're going to want to use probably, but the most important ones are obviously there's the screen brightness that you can adjust, the contrast brightness that you can adjust, there's like scene modes that you can check. Obviously you can turn the wireless feature of it on and off, so you can connect this to your smartphone and so on. And that simply menu is scrolled through by the two buttons either side of the menu button, so you just go up or down through those two buttons, and to select the menu that you're on, again a quick press of the menu button, and then to come back or out of it a long press will take you out of it, and then when you're in the menu screen a complete long press again will take you right out of the menu. And then the last one button at the very end nearest the eye cup is the zoom button. Now it's a digital zoom, times 1, 2 to 4. Now I must say at times 1 it's base magnification. The field of view is excellent, absolutely excellent on this, okay? You know, especially for closer things, say up to, you know, 10, 20, 30 yards or whatever, it's got an excellent field of view. But even when you're looking at a wild picture of a field or something like that, you can see just what you want to see. I spoke about that. That's just to focus your eyepiece on it. USB is self-explanatory, so is the camera little slot there. So feature wise, that's pretty much in. I suppose I should say, yeah, it's got a couple of internal features, which is wireless sort of streaming. There's an app that perhaps I'll mention later. that you can connect on it. It's got internal wireless to it, so you can switch that on and off and connect to your phone. It's got an internal memory for your video and pictures, which I don't even know what the internal memory size is. All I do know is over all the time I used it and recorded an awful lot of footage, if you like, it didn't even show as being recorded on the little SD card picture on the screen there that shows you how full the memory is. It hadn't even registered on that yet. Same with the battery. It's got an internal battery. I don't know what the recommended life, usage of the battery is, how long it will last on a single charge. I charged it fully once when I had it and haven't charged it again. I've used it an awful lot, and again on the screen in there where it shows your battery charge, it just dropped 1 bar off of the, I think it's got 3 or 4 bars it displays in there. It just dropped 1 bar, so the battery is really good on it as well. So I think that sort of covers most, if not all, of the sort of features for the device. Okay, so a few more things I'd like to touch on this little spotter before I show you some footage that I've recorded and so on with it. Touch on the value for money, really. Like I say, this currently at this time of me making the video, it's a sub £600 in the UK device. Now in the world of thermal spotters, I guess that's got to be considered as a budget item, because most thermal spotters are a lot more money than that. But that's obviously, it's been built to a budget price, with the size of the sensor and the lens and the internals and so on. So for £600 there's got to be a compromise. Compromise is probably a harsh word, because for £600 it's an exceptionally good device for that sort of money. Quite frankly, I was quite surprised at how good it was. So likes and dislikes, let's get that over with just before I show you the video and so on. Pretty much like almost everything about it, really, but the biggest plus of it is, like I said, is that word again, the ergonomics of it. You can just grab it, put it to either eye with either hand, hang it around your neck, whatever hand is free. It's just so easy to grab. Click one button once it's in standby, have a look, click the standby button again, drop it down. It just works really well. It feels solid, it feels good in your hand. You can shove it in your pocket out of the way if need be. So that's probably the best thing about it. I guess overall, for the money, like I said, it's excellent. Really good for the money. What don't I like about it? There are a few things that are, if I said I didn't like about them, I could also say I do like about them, if you like. One is internal battery. So if you run out of battery, you can't swap out the battery. You can possibly put a power bank into it. I don't know for sure, check that out and see if that's possible, but we'll probably do that. But yeah, there's no sort of battery to swap or to put in, so if you run out of power you could be stuck. But if you run out of power, that'd be your own fault because you haven't charged it, because like I said, it's another plus. The internal battery lasts a very long time. So it's a plus and a minus, if you like, there, but it's probably a better plus than it is minus. Now, same with the internal memory. So it's got internal memory, which is good, that's fine. If it had like an SD card or something in it, you could just take the SD card out, chuck it in your laptop, whatever, download the footage. Because that's probably where I had the biggest issue with this device was downloading the images from it. Now it's my feeling at this day and age that any electronic device such as this with a USB cable, you should be able to plug into your laptop, it'll recognise it and drag and drop your video, your footage or whatever. Okay, now I've got a MacBook. It's not a new MacBook, it's a good few years old, it's probably 4 or 5 or 6 years old, and I couldn't get this device recognised on that MacBook whatsoever at all, with the Wi-Fi on, with the Wi-Fi off, with everything. I've also got a PC computer, a Windows based PC computer, which is a little bit older than the MacBook even. Wouldn't even recognise that either. So I did download the app onto my smartphone. Okay, I downloaded the Hikvision Sight app, I think it is, not the one in the manual. There's one which you can click on the barcode or something and get up. But I don't think that particular app allows you to download footage. I used the Hikmicro Sight app, which was actually a pretty good app. It allows you to stream and look through the device on your phone, all the usual sort of things. You can control the device on your phone, change the colour palettes, that sort of stuff. But most importantly, of course, you can download the footage wirelessly, connect to the hotspot that's on this device. So connect to the wireless device here via your phone and you can download the footage off of there. So it's a bit of a faff to download. It's not a deal breaker by any means, as long as you've got a smartphone. If you're going to use it and not need any of the recordings, obviously I download it for content that I'm putting on YouTube and so on. If you're just going to use it as a thermal, you won't even need to worry about that sort of thing. But overall, yeah, it's an excellent device. So let's get some footage up on the video for you, and you can have a look and see what the footage is like. Another big thing to mention about the footage. So what you see recorded on your screen that I've recorded and downloaded from here is nowhere near as good as the live view you see through the device. The picture that you actually look through and see through the device, I can't stress, is much better than the actual video that you get downloaded and put onto YouTube, etc. It's if I had to say, it's probably a good 20% better looking through the device live than looking at your recording. So let's get onto some footage that I've taken from it, and you can have a look, see what you think of that. Now somewhere in that mess of overgrowth is a deer, I'm pretty sure. I can show you I'm looking through the thermal at it at the moment and recording the image, just to show you how, like, zoom in with the camera. This is on my iPhone zoomed in. You will never ever see that deer, and when I show you the thermal image, even on this thermal, you'll be amazed that it's even picked that up. Absolutely no idea that could be there. Now this is a couple of snippets of some footage I took when I was out pest controlling. This is a squirrel permission of mine. It's during the daytime, and you can just see how pronounced that squirrel is at 25 yards going up a tree there. Just imagine what it would be at night time if you couldn't see anything. Now this is at the same feeder. In that larger heat source that you can see there is actually a woodpecker. So not a very big bird, but that's a woodpecker. And then all the other smaller heat sources you can see flying around, they're actually little sparrows and maybe a couple of robins. So really small birds. But it really shows up the effectiveness even of this, so say, budget thermal, that at 25 yards it's absolutely brilliant. This is during the day, but look at those little birds flying around. These are sparrow sized birds, and it quite obviously is showing you that there's heat sources and potential quarry. So if you had a ratting permission, or you're shooting rabbits with a 12 foot-pound rifle out to 30, 50 yards or so, this device would be amazing for you. Okay, now here is a bit of footage adjacent to the golf course, and I put this in for a couple of reasons. One, it's just a pretty good skyline, shows up the what the thermal can do and so on. And in a minute I'll scroll through the colour palettes. So here's just zooming in. Obviously it's a digital zoom, so it gets quite pixelated, as you can see. But you know, it shows you the capabilities of the zoom on it. Right up to 4x zoom and back to base mag. So there's black hot, and black hot probably gives the best definition of your surroundings and so on. Now we've clicked into the fusion mode, as you can see. This is red hot, so if there was anything that was super bright, it would outline it or fill it with a red colour. And back to the normal white hot. Now just keep watching this little bit of video, because I pan back round here, and so this is the golf course to the side and behind me. And so I just pan around, taking a nice recording, or so I thought, of the area until, oh, hello, there you go. So that is a deer at about 300 yards away, and it's picked that up. Just scanning around, see if there's anything else, but there you go. It's picked up that heat source in the pitch black, no idea it was there. Now I put this bit of footage in just because it was a good bit of footage really, but this is a chap in the pitch black with a head torch on, and he's jogging around the tarmac path of the golf course, totally unoblivious to me even being there. He's maybe 50-60 yards away, I guess, something like that. It's pitch black, had no idea that I was there, and he's got this big head torch on and just jogging around the golf course. Happy days. Now this is just literally at the back door of my house. That's 4 pigeons 36 yards away on top of the roof. There's a couple of starlings up in the tree there, they just fly away there, you can see them. Pan round, there's another pigeon up in the tree with a little sparrow just below it, if you can see that there. It even picks up that little sparrow at 35 yards away. And this is during the day, it's kind of midday-ish, but quite a cold day, and it's quite an overcast, dull day. And those pigeons really show up. There's a seagull. That is the sun, the heat source of the sun shining through the clouds. I can't see that sun at all. But the pigeons really highlight how useful a thermal can be. Just look at it glowing away there. Away it flies. Absolute excellent bit of kit. Right, now you've had a chance to look at the videos that I've done, or some of them anyway. You can see what the spotter's like, it recording and so on. Like I say, the image quality that you look at through the device is definitely much better than what you've now seen on the sort of screen, so do bear that in mind. But let me try and quickly sum things up with a couple more things to say before my usual review videos go on for hours and hours and hours, because I could talk about, you know, things that I really like this for forever almost. Sum it up for the money, and that's got to be the sort of word for it, for the money, it's a really, really good device, okay? I think Hikmicro are really doing a job on sort of thermal, day-night sort of vision stuff. As you've seen, they're really, really pushing the boat, and for sub £600, that's a really excellent device. Now, let me contradict myself a little bit on what I'm saying there, is because one of my top tips for thermal is to spend as much money as you can afford on one. So if you were looking at these and you were thinking about purchasing maybe the 15mm one rather than the 10mm one, and you've watched this video and thought, wow, that works really well, that 10mm, I'm just going to buy, don't buy the 15mm one, buy the 19mm one, buy the 25mm one, if your budget will allow you. The reason for that is not because they're that much better, but because your viewing experience, you'll enjoy the viewing experience so much more with a better quality thermal, okay? Even though the image quality is excellent through this for the money, if you can get a better one, if you can get the 15, the 90mm one, you'll personally enjoy the actual image that you're looking at through it so much better. It's an amazing experience if you've not got a thermal. If you don't own a thermal, put it on the top of your pest controller. If you do shooting in the dark particularly, of course, put a thermal on the top of your to get list. And get one with the biggest sort of lens or the best sort of, you know, quality that you can get, that you can afford, because they'll all do the job, as I think I've proven with this one. They'll all do the job. You can see heat sources way, way, way out past potentially your shooting abilities with an air rifle or rimfire or something, for sure, okay? But the experience that you'll get through looking through an even better thermal than this, if you know what I mean, it'll just make the whole experience that much better. That's my top tip, is just to spend as much money as you can afford. Don't skimp and think you're going to save money and this will be doing what, a 15mm. It will do it, but you'll enjoy the experience so much more just seeing that tiny bit more detail and that tiny bit more sort of information through the screen. Now, another thing with this device, just to let you know if you're looking at buying this one or maybe even a smaller one, when you're using it, you need to scan steadily. You know, you need to go nice and slow, or I found it's got a really good field of view. I'd scan something there for a while and go there and there. If you go quickly, you can miss things, because I guess whatever the sensor processor that is in there, it needs a second to process the image, or a fraction of a second. If you're going like that and then stop, you'll suddenly notice within a second the picture will become that much sharper and you'll see a lot more objects. If you go like that, you potentially will miss a few things now and again. You need to go nice and steady, allow the sensor and everything processor to process the information. You need to give it time, because it's built to a price, and you've just got to allow it to process the information before, you know, if you move too quickly like that, you potentially won't have enough time for it to process the information and display that onto the image on the screen at the back there. So overall, totally recommend the Hikmicro Lynx range. I say the range because the other ones in the range must be just as good, if not better, with the larger sensors and so on. But its Ergonomics is its biggest seller. It's so good. Just hang it around your neck, grab it with either hand, instantly can use it, let it go, pick it up again. It's just so easy to operate and to use. The buttons, everything, really good. Value for money, almost unbelievable what you can do now with thermal. This would have cost 2-3 times as much money a few years ago. So like I said, I better sort of leave it there. Like I said, if you want all the information that you need from this, all the specs, if I can find some sheets I might add it on to the end of this video, but it's all on the Optics Warehouse website. Thanks again to Optics Warehouse for sending me the device and using it. I've really enjoyed using it and so on. So I'll end the video there before it gets massively too long. I hope that's made some sense, and anyone who's looking for one of these devices found this sort of useful. And put a thermal to the top of your shopping list if you haven't got one and you're a pest controller. 100%, that's my advice. Thanks very much everyone. If you stayed to the end of the video again, a thumbs up to you. Thanks very much. Give my video a thumbs up, click on the like, subscribe button, all the usual things please, and keep safe, be safe, and I'll see you again soon.